Hello. So this is going to be a video about the things that I'm taking to university this year. So I've already completed an undergrad degree before, so I did that a couple of years ago and it was in molecular biology. So I've been to uni, I understand what is needed, what's not, to a degree. So this is just going to be the things that I'm taking this year. Well, please enjoy the video ahead, and I hope you enjoyed seeing socks. So one of the most important things at university is food, and students do not have a very good reputation when it comes to food. Usually most people tend to eat ramen and other really basic, straightforward, easy things, and that's all well and good. You do you, whatever suits you. But this year, or this time round, I'm going to take the bare minimum for university. So that is going to consist of a casserole dish to make like rice dishes, because I intend on making a lot of one pot kind of meals just because it's quick and easy and convenient. Cast iron frying pan, because you can cook practically anything in this, and it still needs to be well seasoned, so consistent use will help it improve the pan anyway. Some utensils for cooking, a bowl and a pasta bowl. I told my friend that I wasn't going to take a plate because I didn't need one, and he'd said that it was egregious and outrageous, but I don't need a plate, so I'm not going to take one. And they're very cheap. I got them from John Lewis for like £2.50 or something. I'm going to take some coffee sachets, a really nice big thermos. This is massive, it's 1.2 litres, and I'll probably put just hot water in this and have hot water to drink as I'm studying, or make tea or whatever. And then a really nice big container. So these sorts of things are really useful. You can get them in loads of different sizes, of course, and a quick tip people in general is that if you've got fresh fruit and vegetables, so something like lettuce or carrots, when you put them in the fridge, you know how they go like limp or like bendy. If you put them in an airtight container like that and then put them in the fridge, they'll stay normal for a lot longer. So that's a good thing to do. And another thing is you can keep fresh fruit and veg that you don't necessarily need to put in the fridge in there, and then you can keep it in your room, which is what I will do, just to save space in the kitchen where other people are. So another thing that I'm going to do is take a lot of kind of food with me. So I'm going to be taking a lot of rice and like stock cubes and stuff like that, some dried beans and non-perishable foods, just because it'll be easier to take it in bulk than to buy it there and carry it around. But that's just what I will be doing. So this is literally bare minimum, and obviously a knife and a fork, so and a spoon. So there's also a mug that I forgot to get, and so I'll be taking this mug. So my previous colleagues got this for me when I quit my job a couple of weeks ago, so I will just be taking this with me, and they know that I absolutely adore my dogs and cats, which is why they got me this one, and it's really cute, so I'll take this too. So I think that's all for utensils. Oh, and obviously have tea towels and fairy liquid or washing up liquid, and things like that to keep things clean, obviously. So yeah, not taking much. So, and obviously if you need anything, you can buy things. We're not going into the wilderness here, we're going to university. Chances are you're in a city, you'll be fine. So there's nothing to worry about, and everything will be okay. In terms of clothing, I take what I'm comfortable in, and that is black t-shirts that are plain, very straightforward and simple. A little bit of colour, I suppose, if you consider navy blue colour, and a whole load of hoodies and jumpers. In terms of trousers, I go for 3 smart pairs and 2 pairs of jeans. And that is because everything goes with everything else, essentially. So black jeans go with black t-shirts and jumpers, and so on and so forth. A good reason to take smart trousers or smart t-shirts or shirts or jumpers would be if you are going for a job interview, or if you're having guest speakers. You can get you can get guest speakers in certain universities that can be from government or other quite high up places, so you want to make a good impression even if you're not going to see them again. So I would personally recommend that you take something that you would wear to an interview, just in case it comes up, or if you have like a mock interview or anything like that. It's always good to practice. But yeah, just make sure that you've got something comfortable, something warm, and something that you feel confident in, and also that is appropriate. Yes, you don't have to wear business style clothing, but you do have to be appropriate. Just because we're all adults now and we're at university, there are other people there. Just be aware. And yeah, obviously make sure if you're going to go to the gym a lot, take gym equipment or gym clothing and something to sleep in that is also warm. So it might also be worthwhile bringing like a dressing gown. I personally don't like dressing gowns, they bother my skin, but for most people they are very useful. I will just use a hoodie, but that's just me. So you don't want to take too much because then you have to carry it all, but at the same time don't take so little that you have to do washing every 3 days. So you have to find out what works for you, but this will be what I take. Very important thing that you need to take to university is toiletries, of course. So what I'll be taking is hair scrunchies and a tie, just because you want to put your hair up. If you're going to the gym, if you're going to lectures, you just want to have your hair up. Hair can be very annoying sometimes. I take a leave-in conditioner because I've got curly hair, which is why I've got a large tooth comb, shampoo and conditioner, deodorant, soap, just normal things to wash your hands, to wash your body in the shower, face scrub, toothbrush, toothpaste, and sun cream is another good one, especially because even though we're going into winter, of course, the sun is still there. You still need to protect your skin from the sun. Another thing not to forget is medications and anything that you'll need, any prescriptions, anything like that. Of course, there are medical facilities at universities, so you will be able to sign up to a GP service and be able to get your medication, but it's always good to start with some so that you're not you haven't got any gaps. So I've got medication that I need to take, so of course you've got to take that with you. One thing that is very common is the freshest flu, as it is very commonly known. So it's just a lot of people from lots of different places all coming together. Disease is very, very common. So it's probably a good idea to take some soothers or some sweets that will help soothe your throat if you get a sore throat. Some cold and flu medication is also a really good thing to take. Any painkillers and some like Germaline. Another good thing is VapoRub and something like this. So it's like an inhaler stick. So if you do get a cold, you kind of just breathe this in at this point here. So you breathe that in and it's like having VapoRub in a stick. It's really convenient and it's not messy, unlike VapoRub, which I also take. So anything to do with your nails, Tiger Balm, it's quite convenient as well. Multivitamins, obviously not everybody takes multivitamins, but depending on your diet, if you don't think you'll have an amazing diet, if you're going to be quite limited, multivitamins are never going to hurt. And I use this, it's kinesthesiology tape. I've got a spinal injury and this is just really helpful, especially on days where I get a lot of back pain. So you don't have to take everything, but take what you need and don't be afraid to take what you need. Also, ladies, don't forget feminine hygiene products. Obviously very important, and you don't want to get caught out with that. So yeah, this is basically everything that I would need personally. Can't think of anything else. In terms of stationery, of course people do go a bit crazy with stationery and I completely understand that. I love stationery and like nice pens and folders and stuff like that. But for uni, I try to not go too insane just because it's a lot of stuff to have in your space. And of course, depending on what room you're living in or what house you're in, you don't really have a lot of that. So I'm just going to show you what I'm taking. So I'm going to take folders. So I've got these pucker pads, and the reason why I got pucker pads was because they were cheap in the shop that I was in and I like the colours. So I've got these like smaller ones. They're a bit thinner. And then I've got matching colours in the larger size. So these like lever arch folders. And because I'm doing a language course, I don't know how many languages I'll do, so my degree covers 2 primary languages, but there is the option to do more. So I'm not sure what I will do just yet because I would like to do additional ones. So I'm taking 4 of each just so I'm prepared if I do try to do more. And then in terms of everything else, I've got like normal things, so like post-it notes. So we've got a couple of those, and then a little set like this, which has got post-it notes and then these little tabs, which are actually really useful. I use these in my first degree. for textbooks because they're really useful and you can write on them to tell you what you're looking at in each section. And then also these ones, so these are quite useful as well. So they're clear, they're kind of like a plastic sort of material, but you can write on them with marker pens, which again is really useful. Now this is something that I would definitely recommend people get. So it's a UV permanent marker. So I got this from the police, I think, when the police visited my previous uni. And it's actually really, really cool. So you can write on your belongings like your name. So if it gets stolen, then you can view it and then you can prove that it's yours. So that is also quite useful. And then push pins. So in the university, in our rooms, we get pin boards. So having pins would be really useful. I use them for everything. If you've got assignments coming up, then you can put something up there. Or if you've just got posters or anything that you would like, that's a really convenient thing to have. Pens, of course, you don't want to run out of pens because that would be not helpful. Highlighters, and then a whole collection of other pens, and then some different coloured ones, just if you want to make pretty notes. Sellotape, stapler, pencils, sharpener, rubber, of course, normal things. And then because I am doing languages, I've got a lot of paper. So I learn from repetition. So words, I would just tend to write them 100 times or something like that, just so I get the spelling, the pronunciation, because I repeat them as I say them, and then I'll repeat them as I write them, sorry. And also how handwriting in different languages is done, because that is also quite important when you're learning languages. So I prefer squared paper, and it doesn't matter what language I'm writing in, I always preferred squared paper. So I got 6 of these pads for £9 from The Works, so that's a really decent place if you want to just get some paper, some cheap paper. Or if you just want to use like scrap or something, The Works is a really, really good place to go for that. And then I got some other pucker pads, but again, they're squared, so that just works for me. And then some normal pads with lined paper, and again, these match the colours of the folders. So each language will get a colour, and that will just be how I associate it with myself. It just works for me. And then additionally, I've got some notebooks. So these will just be used for anything, because I do enjoy writing and I think that will be quite useful for me in my course. Then I'll make sure that I've got enough that I won't run out. And another thing that people might find useful is envelopes. And I don't know if you all like writing letters, but I really enjoy writing letters to my friends, my loved ones. So I will definitely take some of those as well. But this is kind of all that I'll be taking in terms of stationery, and it's not too much really. One thing to think is that, of course, that people do come home, and I probably will come home a couple of times, but I don't want to be lugging everything all the time, so which is why I'm going to take quite a lot of paper, and that can just stay at university, and then if I need more, I can go and get it. But this is all that I will be using, and I think this will be enough. So last time when I was at uni, I took a really big stationery pot. It was massive, and it was awkward to move. And of course, you don't move very much, so do what you think is best for you, use your own discretion. But my previous experience told me that I definitely want to go minimalist this time around. So it looks a bit, seems a bit silly saying that when it's all laid out, but realistically it's not too much. So do what you think is best, use your discretion, but also be sensible, because you don't need everything. Another thing that I forgot to mention is a planner. So these are massively useful. So you can write in all your assignments, what lectures you've got, anything that you need to keep yourself in check, or to make sure that you don't forget anything, then a planner will definitely be useful, as well as a calendar if you use wall calendars. I personally do. I find them massively helpful because it's very visual and you can see where you are in the month and what is coming up. But that's just what works for me. But you can get these for like £1 or £2 at Asda or Tesco, anywhere really. So that's also something that I would certainly recommend. One thing I didn't show was this. So this is not a notebook in the normal sense. This is a whiteboard. So it is whiteboard pages in a notebook, and it is fantastic. I absolutely love this thing. It's awesome. It wasn't very expensive. I just got it on Amazon. It was, I don't know, £10 maybe. And it is going to be so useful because you can make really quick notes in lectures and then you can just rub it off. It's fantastic. It saves paper, and it will be just convenient if you're learning something like diagrams, if you're doing architecture or anything like that. It'll just be really good, and you can practice and just rub it away. So I've got this, and then a whole load of pens that it came with, and some like sticky tabs which also came with when I bought it. So if you like something like this, then again, I would highly recommend. At university, of course, technology and course-specific items are going to be incredibly important. So in terms of technology for me, because I'm doing a language course, I've got a laptop, and I've also got a computer with a nice big monitor, which I have ordered recently, so I should be able to pick it up soon. And I've also got a number of different keyboards, and that is for each of the different languages that I will or potentially might learn. So I've also got dictionaries because, again, I'm learning languages, you need a dictionary, and this will change depending on what you're doing. So my initial degree was molecular biology. So over the 4 years, I needed different resources, and so I personally bought all of the textbooks and additional textbooks that I just found interesting, just because I really enjoy reading and learning, and once I'm interested in a topic, I like to read all about it. It just worked better for me to have my own copy that I could keep in my room, and I could make annotations with post-it notes and tabs and stuff like that. That just really worked for me. Different universities have different techniques, so you might have 30 copies of a book in a library depending on how many students are in your cohort. So for example, last time there were 250 students in my cohort, so we would all use the same textbooks for depending on the module that it was. But the university library may only have 30 copies of a textbook that you could then take out and borrow. And if I remember correctly, you can only borrow it for up to 2 weeks at a time, just so other students could have access to it. They do have an online library, so you do have access to the textbooks, but it is online. That just never worked for me personally. If you are an online worker, then you'll be fine. It's really not an issue. You can make bookmarks and you can highlight things in textbooks from the system that we used at my previous university. But just for me, I like to buy things, have physical copies that are mine, and that I can do whatever I choose to do with. Another thing to consider about university is what you're going to do in your downtime. And lots of people generally make friends and hang out with them, which is fantastic. If you can make friends, obviously do that. It's really important that you have people that you can talk to at university. But I've always been someone that struggles doing that, and I prefer to be on my own, so more of an introvert than an extrovert, and it suits me. So the things that I'm going to take to entertainment is my knitting, because I would like to finish a scarf. It's coming along quite nicely. So that's the scarf as it is. And then I would like to knit a hat in the same fabric, so hopefully that'll get done. And then I'm going to take my GoPro because I enjoy recording things and videos and such. And 3 books. And do I expect to get through all 3 of them? No, but it's better to have too many than not enough, you know? So depending on what you like to do, take more, take less. If you like painting, take some paints. Just remember that the rooms are generally quite small, so just keep that in mind. And you just have to make sure that you've got something to entertain yourself with that won't stress you out, but will also kind of relax you. Just because university can get very stressful, especially if you've got a lot of assignments or exams coming up. So you do need some peace and quiet, and this is what I'm taking for me. So this is the last of the items that I'll be taking with me. So this is a laundry basket, so obviously you're going to need something like that. You can get really cheap ones from places like B&M, Home Bargains, Asda, places like that. I got this one from Toiletries, and it's just a bit nicer than the really, really cheap ones which I've had previously. And it was on offer, which is quite nice. Other than that, toilet paper, of course. I've got some bleach and some bacterial wash, so a cleanser for the bathroom. And because it's winter and I'm cold all year round, got a really nice hot water bottle, so it's really nice and long, so it goes all the way down my back, which is lovely. Got a rucksack, so use this in lectures, just carrying my computer and notebooks and stuff. So obviously you want to have a bag of some description, whether you take a purse or a handbag or a rucksack. That's completely down to you, whatever works best for you. And then fitted sheets for the bed. So we have a single bed at uni in this time round. So just a single sheet. I got these from Tesco. They were £5 with a club card, £10 without. So nice, cheap, easy. And I got 4 just to make sure that I don't have to wash sheets every single week, because I don't really want to be doing that. And this I also got, so this is a duvet, it's a coverless one, so you don't actually have to put a cover on this duvet, you just use it as it is and then wash the whole duvet. So we'll see how that goes. It's 10.5 tog, so it should be nice and warm for the winter, and then hopefully I'm not completely freezing all semester. And one final thing that I think will be really useful, which I didn't use last time, is one of these like trolley things. So usually in the UK, these have got a reputation for being used by like the elderly when they go shopping, and they have a good reason to do that. It's because they are massively convenient, because it doesn't put any strain on your back. You can just pull it, so if you're getting something heavy like tins or rice or pasta even, then these can be really useful. They're not that expensive and it'll just make life easier, especially because I've got a spinal injury. I do not want to be carrying bags of shopping for a half an hour walk. So that's just what I'll be taking, and that should be it. So my car isn't very big. I'm not taking my car, just going, obviously transporting things. So everything has to fit. So can't take too much. And then if I make the changes about what I'm taking, then I will. But hopefully this will be it. And hopefully everything goes smoothly. So let me know what you guys are taking, if you're taking anything different, or if you would have any changes that you would make. And if you are going to uni this year, I hope it all goes well for you and that you succeed in all of what you wish to achieve. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.